Okay, guys, I'm sorry that that cut us off, and I'm almost done talking about this, but let me ask you something. The square root of 16, don't tell me what it is. Tell me if it's rational or irrational. The square root of 16, I'm going to write it right. Oh, I'm not. Okay. I'm going to write it right here. Square root of 16, is that a rational number or is it an irrational number? What do you think, Simon? Rational. It's rational because it equals 4, doesn't it? Right? And we can write that as a fraction. Good. So it's rational. But let me ask you this. What about the square root of 15? Is that rational or is it irrational, Alex? It's irrational because this does not come out to a nice pretty whole number, right? We're going to say that this number is irrational. It's going to come out to a decimal. When I take the square root of a whole number, Cole, but I don't get a whole number, it's irrational. That means I cannot write it as a fraction. Okay, let's do this. Now, guys, do something for me. You have your calculators, and I need you to work on this pretty quickly. What is 5/8 as a decimal? Raise your hand if you've got it. Justin. 0.625. Okay. Is this a repeating decimal or a terminating decimal or a non-repeating? So think about what that means. Terminate means ends. It stops. Okay. Repeating means it gives us the same digits over and over again forever. Non-repeating means that it doesn't stop, but it doesn't give us the same ones over and over again. Those are the irrational ones. So which one is this? Is this a terminating, a repeating, or a non-repeating, Albert? Terminating. Okay. And then type, that means, is it rational or is it irrational? You tell me. Raise your hand. Rational or irrational, Nikki? It's rational. We know that because we started with a fraction, didn't we? So clearly it can be written as 1. We wrote it as 1. What about 5/6? Who has that for me as a decimal? Kai? 8, and then the 3 is repeating? Okay. So what type of decimal is this? Raise your hand. What type of decimal is it, Tut? It's a repeating. And if it repeats, then what type of number is it? Not type of decimal, but type of number. Is it rational or irrational? Cole? It is rational. Good. Because any number that repeats can be written as a fraction. And we know that because we started with it as a fraction. Good job, Cole. All right. Now, what about the square root of 19? What do I get there as a decimal? Armand? 4.35. 889? Uh-huh. 8944. And then it stops at the end of the screen. Would you call this a terminating decimal? Because it stopped? No. It stopped because we need the calculator to stop doing it and do other things for us. It just got to the end of the screen. Okay? So it's not a terminating decimal. It doesn't end. Is it a repeating? Does it give us the same digits over and over again? No, doesn't do that. So, Trigo, what do we call it? It's a non-repeating decimal, right? And the square root of 19, that's the square root of a whole number that doesn't give me a whole number. Is it rational or is it irrational? Nika? It's irrational. Excellent. I think we've got a pretty good understanding of that now. Okay, let's look at example number 2.